Welcome to the Back Nine Six Pack with Mitch and Justin. Let's roll.
Hello and welcome to episode 130 of the Back Nine Six Pack. My name is Mitch, joined as always by my esteemed colleague Justin. We got the natty on in the background. Typically on a night like this, we would push our recording, right? We would be like, You know what? We got a big game. We're gonna push it. But I was shocked when you said, "Man, I'm not really that excited for this one."
Indiana's going to be a household name probably here in about 5 years. Like, you're going to be like, oh, man, I can't believe they left Indiana out. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it's going to be. As long as Kurt Cignetti stays there, that's how it's going to be in, like, 4 or 5 years. But, like, right now you're like, it's still Indiana. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's and you know, I've got a different appreciation. Last year I was like, you know, they go to an Ohio State game and they're undefeated and just manhandled in that game. I'm like, okay, there it is. And then this year it's like, you know, they beat Ohio State. It was a really good game. I mean, did Ohio State shoot themselves in I truly think to right now that game was, whoever got the 1 seed was probably going to be in this situation, right? Just with the matchups they were going to get. I hated the Miami-Ohio State matchup, and I was hoping that they would drop Ohio State to 3. I like those matchups a little better. But it's funny looking back on that. It's like, okay, they're for real. And then like, they just kind of like smoked everybody up to this point. You know, and Miami's Miami. I mean, there's a lot of teams I would hope make a comeback in college football. Like, I yarn for like the Nebraska, right? Making a good comeback because there's nothing there, right? They have football. That's all they have. Like teams like that. I don't want Miami to make another comeback into the college world. Their fans don't deserve it. They're outnumbered tonight in their own stadium, a home game for a national championship.
Yeah,
you just can't let that happen.
No, I just Miami, like watching them this year. Like I understand they got some good players, especially on defense, and then you know Tony is phenomenal on offense. But like, it still like shocks me that they're here. To be honest with you, because it's like I watch them and I feel nothing watching their games. They don't look good.
No, they don't. No, and you know it's like thinking back to the Ohio State game when they beat Ohio State. It was like, you know, you take out the pick six, it's probably a way different game, right? Like they only scored, you know, the last touchdown they gave up because they needed to give it up quickly so they could have a chance to score and get the ball back. They kind of just let them score. I mean, up to that point, they only scored 10 points. You know, it's like you take out the pick six, it's like, you know, it's a whole different ball game. But it seems like their defense has like made just enough plays to where it's like the offense can get away with kind of being nah. You know what I mean? Like, but when they don't run the ball, we're seeing what happens. Like they're just not going to move the ball. You know, if you make Carson back, like, all right, it's time for you to win a game. It's not going to go well.
It's tough. I mean, he doesn't have any classes right now. I'm surprised he's not, you know, locked in.
You know what's funny is there's an NCAA rule that you have to take 9. Like you don't have to declare a degree or anything, but you have to take 9 hours. That's going to be the next scandal, I think.
Oh,
like with maybe not Miami, but just like a team, right? Where it's like they just find out that and we just said that, and there goes Miami. It's going to be 10-7.
Your stream must be way ahead of me.
But I think that's going to be the next scandal is when we're going to find out with like these COVID guys that had already graduated that half of them were playing college athletics and were never taking classes, or they were registered for classes and people were actually taking them for them. I think that's going to be the next scandal because we're still dealing with COVID year guys that, you know, everybody talks about how old Indiana is and all that.
Yeah.
We still got guys that are using COVID years. I think next year, even with 2 red shirts, right? Next year is the last year that you're going to, or actually this year should be the last year with COVID guys, you know? So I think it's going to be interesting to see where Indiana goes because they've kind of lived off those guys the last 2 years as far as like having a super old team. I mean, but it is a formula to win a national championship. Last year, Ohio State had a ton of 4th and 5th year guys. They win a national championship, especially an older quarterback, right? Now you're
Yeah.
seeing Indiana, ton of older guys. Miami's got other than Tony on offense, a lot of older guys. There's a big difference between a 23-year-old and a 19-year-old. It doesn't seem that big, but a 23-year-old's it's a full-grown adult. At 19, 20 years old, you're still grown in your body at that point. And, you start talking about the trenches and you've got a second-year offensive tackle trying to guard, protect his quarterback from a 6-year, 23-year-old man. Like, it's not going to end well most of the time. We're starting to see that, I think.
Yeah, that I guess we just had to start talking shit about Miami. They were going to score, but
I said if they could run the ball, they do a lot better, and they like a 70-yard run.
Yeah. I mean the older guys and the more experience factor too, right? Especially quarterback. Like I think it's Beck's like 43rd, 44th game, something like that. They said. Like that's just a lot of football. Like that gives you such an advantage to have somebody.
Yeah,
like
and
that
I think Mendoza had like 2 years, 2 years on the field under his belt. Maybe not much as Beck, but he had 2 years under his belt. That matters. You know what I mean? Like we talk about it with golf all the time. It's like you can get to a certain point with talent, and then it like becomes like a being able to golf your golf ball, right? And that comes with playing golf a lot and having that experience, right? And football's no different. I think we're starting to see that. You saw a lot of younger teams struggle in the playoff this year. And a lot of the older teams kind of rose to the top. So, and what's sad about it is, this is what makes me sad. High school recruiting doesn't matter anymore.
Oh, no. Not really.
And we've actually kind of seen it, like, as an Ohio State fan, I don't know about anybody else's rosters, but Ohio State lost like 17 or 18 of their signees from the last 2 years in this portal. Actually, I think it crept to 20. And the problem is like Ohio State's probably like, we're going to go out and get older guys in the portal. And then these guys are looking like, fuck, I'm not going to play. They might have been like, oh, I'm the next one up. And then they're like, no, we're going to go out and get a safety. We're going to go out and get a defensive back. And next thing you know, you're like, oh, I'm not playing again next year. And so I think that's what's going to end up happening is I think you're going to see some of these lower level Power 4 teams probably do pretty well high school recruiting, because you're going to see the Alabamas, the Ohio States, Michigans. They're going to go like, let's go out and get some guys that have been playing college football for 3 years. And that's going to become the new thing. And it already kind of has this year, and everybody's trying to copy Indiana.
Yeah. And I mean, you've got with obviously NIL and stuff, you got guys like, Dante Moore going back to Oregon, and, this is supposed to be the Arch was supposed to come out this year, right? He's staying at Texas. Like,
yeah, I
think you'll see more of that too. Not even just guys moving a lot, but guys choosing to stay an extra year.
Yeah. Well, think about it. I mean, if they're like, hey, you're going to be 3rd, 4th round, you might be able to get a couple $1 million NIL. That's going to be a hell of a lot better than being a 4th round draft pick. You come back and maybe you prove yourself, and you get in those first couple rounds. NIL money is not going to do much for you if you're in the first couple rounds. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of those 3rd, 4th, 5th round guys that in the past would be like, gone, I'm going to go try to make an NFL roster. Now they're like, screw it, I'll stay behind and make 1.5 million or 2 million or whatever it might be. So,
I mean, Dante Moore, I think, is just dodging the Jets. That's what he's trying to do.
His situation's a lot different. I was actually shocked that he went back into the draft or back to Oregon.
I mean, he's going to be the number 2 pick for sure.
But do you blame him? Like, do you really blame him?
Not really.
Like, it's just from a standpoint of like proven quarterbacks. Rodgers was with the Jets last year, and you saw the crappy year he had. He goes to barely an upgrade on offense, maybe actually a downgrade on some of the weapons. Yeah, and has a better year. Like that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, they
ruined my GOAT, is what they did.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and review the show. Follow us on social media at Back96Back, and send us some fan mail. That link is down in the show description. We've got pro golf is back. We had a PGA Tour tournament this weekend.
Feels good. Well, and it was obviously this with the Century being canceled.
Yeah,
it was a week later this year. We didn't get any golf until the Sony. But man, I love this tournament. The course, I think, walleye is unbelievable. but it sucks when it's cold here and you're just like you're watching on TV and you're just, it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, there's part of it where it's like, oh man, it's like relaxing and enjoyable to watch on TV, but you're for sure there's the FOMO piece of it where it's like, man, I want golf here. But like I just miss having golf on like on the background and work and stuff.
Yeah,
you know? It's a little different with the Hawaii thing because it becomes like, you know, it's kind of in prime time more.
Yeah,
but God, when we get to like the Florida swing and it's 6 a.m. and I can turn
there's
on
golf on.
Yeah, oh. That's when you know you're close.
With that.
That's when you know you're close.
Yep. Yeah, but I thought it was a great tournament. I got to watch a little bit of every day, kind of. You know, it was like, Sunday was hard with the football on, but I kind of flipped back and forth. I had a Davis Riley winner ticket.
Oh,
and
no.
I turned it back to the foot. I'm like, all right, we got a 3-shot lead. Turned it back to the football. I didn't get an update until like 30 minutes, 40 minutes later. And I saw he like bogeyed like 2 or 3 holes in a row. I'm like, well, crap. You know, it was like, that sucks. But shout out Chris Goddard.
Yeah. So before we shout out Chris Goddard, we can shout out Mr. 5-4 himself. Big Pat texts us Saturday morning. Sends a late Happy New Year message. But, you know, so we've always done the one and done in this show. We got tired of getting our asses kicked. I'm not going to lie. I think we were both a little scared. We played scared and we didn't sign up. But
yeah,
him and our guy, Tommy Turndogs, they're doing what we always do, and they joined together to make picks. He texted us Saturday morning and said that their pick was Goddard. He was like, I have done well the first 2 rounds. Hope he finishes strong. Buddy, you got a winner on the first. All Pat does is give out winners, apparently. He tried to give me a winner when they filled in for you last year, and I didn't take it. So hot start for the guys in the one and done.
And here's the funniest thing is, like, if we would have done it, right, Goddard maybe would have been brought up, right? But then I would have talked you into Davis Riley, and then we wouldn't have gotten a win. You know, that's exactly how it would have happened.
You bet on Davis Riley. I bet on JJ Spawn. So I would have been pushing hard to use JJ, and he stunk. So, like, you know.
Yeah.
It might be for the best if we stay away and let our people around us all win.
Well, shout out to those guys for getting a win in the first week. That is, I don't think we got a single win last year. We got one the year before, but we did not get one last year.
Yeah, I can't recall hitting a win last year, so that probably means we didn't. But yeah, congrats to those guys, Chris Goddard. So Goddard, that's his 3rd win. He got 1 win each of the last 3 years. He won the Myrtle Beach Classic in 2024, the Scottish Open last year, and then now here at Wiley Sony Open. He's in the top 20 in the world now, 17th. He was outside 190 last year, like a year ago, before all this happened. Crazy.
Well, all I'm saying is someone on this podcast was maybe not even early, but I was pounding the drum for him for the Ryder Cup.
I know.
And him winning the first event out of the chute, not the best look for the people that picked the teams.
No, I mean, I know his form fell off kind of late summer and into the fall, but like, I'm with you. I think it was one of those where you got to kind of like call your shot on a guy. Not saying he would have become Scotty, but like they did that with Scotty back at Whistling Straits, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the course fit was there. He was from New York. Like, there's a lot of signs. Yeah, a lot of signs pointing to yes. And for him to kind of back it up and get a win this early in the year, I think, like, yeah, looking back, that's a guy you probably wanted on that team.
Yeah, because I mean, right now it's like kind of looking like he's going to be kind of at least for the time being, a mainstay. And now, you know, assuming he holds serve, right? Maybe wins another event next year, or maybe wins a couple this year. Like, he's probably going to be on the team in 2 years. And now, instead of his first Ryder Cup being at pretty much a home field advantage for him being a New York guy, is now going to be overseas, which, again, I think he's a dog. I really do. I think that's the one thing I truly love about him. But that's tough for your first Ryder Cup to be an away. So
yeah,
that's something to watch over the next 18 months or so.
Right. Yeah, he drives it and putts it, and that usually is going to do well, especially today's PGA Tour. So
yeah, well, especially on that course, like if you can drive the ball well and keep it in the fairway, that's pretty much like 70% of the battle, because that course can get tight, and you start seeing guys making bogeys and doubles is when they kind of get it off the line a little bit. But it's not overly long, so if you can drive the ball straight, and the way he hits the ball does become pretty easy,
Yeah, for sure. I don't have much else on Sony. I was like you. I kind of tuned in here and there throughout the week, but didn't get to watch too much. But we're looking forward. So I looked at the schedule, and I was just trying to remind myself kind of what's coming here. I want to play a game. I'm going to make you try to guess the winners from these events last year.
Oh, okay.
We're going to go. We're going from now until March, okay?
Okay.
So here's what's coming. We got the American Express. Do you know who won that last year?
That was Dunlap last year, I believe, wasn't it?
2 years ago.
Or was that the year before? Crap, I think it was the year before. Who won the American Express last year?
This is your boy. He loves fridge cigs.
Oh my God. Who won the American Express last year? I'm drawing a blank. Tell me.
Sepp Straka.
See, I knew I was like, I said Dunlap, and I was like, that's going to be too easy. He's been around for a little bit now.
Yeah. Okay. So week after that, Farmers Insurance Open. Do you know who won last year?
Farmers last year. Okay, was it last year or the year before they played 2 weeks in a row at Torrey?
So it wasn't 2 weeks in a row, but it was last year. They played 2 events at Torrey.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Because of the fires.
Yeah, because of the Genesis. The Farmers, though. Fuck, I don't know. I don't know.
Another Georgia Bulldog, Harris English.
Did he really win?
He did. I can't confirm.
I guess that's probably why he got on Ryder Cup. I probably should have guessed that he got like an early year win to kind of boost his chances of making the Ryder Cup team.
Yeah. All right. WM Phoenix Open the week after that, Super Bowl weekend.
Oh, shit. Dude, why am I drawing a blank right now? I don't remember any of these tournaments last year.
This guy recently went to live.
Been on?
No. I knew you were going to say that, though.
I just, real quick, side note.
Yeah.
Been on like 2 years ago. I will not go to live unless they pay lots of money. And then it's like 2 years later, he's gone. Like,
yeah. The all Korean team.
Yeah.
No, it was Thomas Dietrich.
See, I didn't even know he went to live. It's kind of blanked. Yeah. That whole live thing after Brooks came back is kind of feels like it's slowly falling apart.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next. 3 more tournaments for you. These next 2 you should get, but knowing you probably won't. AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am.
Oh, dude, you know what? That was the one tournament last year I don't think I watched a minute of, and I can't remember why. That's in February usually, correct?
Yeah,
I think
Valentine's weekend.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of that last year.
It was Rory.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the Genesis, which was played at Torrey Pines.
No idea. I don't remember any of these early season tournaments last year.
Ludwig won that one. And then this one, I'd be shocked. This will be the one you remember somehow. The Cognizant Classic is the last week in February.
Was it Austin Eckroat?
No.
It was another Oklahoma State guy, though.
Ooh, I don't know where this guy went to college. I think this guy might putt with his eyes closed. I think this is that guy.
Okay, Eckroat won it 2 years ago then.
I think he did.
See, I'm remembering 2 years ago, but I can't remember last year. See how stupid that is?
You blocked out 2025. Joe Highsmith.
Oh, God, yeah, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
But I swear to God, Eckroat won it 2 years ago. So I got two right from 2024. I just didn't get any 25. What the fuck was I doing last year?
I'm probably still drunk from Ohio State winning the Natty.
Probably. That honestly, swear to God, probably was most of it. Like I was just those first 3 weeks in January was just 4 weeks just blacked out in happiness.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we got coming down the pike here, and then we'll head into March from there. So we'll touch on those tournaments at a later date, but just glad to have PGA Tour golf back.
Yeah, 100%.
And speaking of, glad to have this guy back on the PGA Tour. Brooks Koepka has returned, in case you've been living under a rock and didn't know that. General thoughts, how you feeling about this?
I'm glad he's back. He's kind of the one guy that I'm like, I really missed,
Same.
like it's kind of hard to explain. And obviously he's not been nearly the same probably in the last 3 years, but I think some of that, it's like, you get that money. I don't care how disciplined you are. It's pretty easy to just kind of be like, all right, I'm not going to like practice as much, right? Kind of thing. So I kind of take it with a grain of salt. It feels like he's caught a second wind in his career as far as like some motivation. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where that takes him over this year. He comes back for Torrey Pines, correct? That's his first tournament.
First tournament back. Yeah, obviously lots of stipulations on this. We don't need to get into all the details, but giving up some of the bonus money and some of the
he still netted pretty well out of this, though.
Yeah, right. He gave up some of the live money, I think, in the end too. But for a time when he played, like, I don't agree with him going, but like he played it the best out of everybody, right?
Yeah.
Like he did it because he felt like he was having some serious, like, career-threatening injuries. Like, his knee was really bad. He got healthy enough, came back, won a major while he was on live still, stayed relevant in the majors for that reason, and then was able to come back, to the tour now. And like you said, I feel like he's only doing that because he kind of feels more of like he wants that competitive side of it back that he feels like he probably lost.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm excited that he's back. He might be. I mean, I think Bryson, as much as we don't, he can be a little much. I get that. The entertainment value of having him around is worth dealing with some of the stupid stuff he says and does and stuff like that. The only problem is like, I would love to have Bryson back, but with the tour's policy of like not really being able to kind of have your own brand on YouTube and things, it's going to make it really hard for him to come back.
Yeah.
But I'm glad Brooks is back. I'm really, really excited. And I think he played it the best. And it's funny that, of all the people, Wyndham Clark is like the one that was kind of outspoken. It's like, well, he kind of double dipped. And it's like, he's mad because I think Wyndham Clark was gone had he not won the U.S. Open. Like, if he not won the U.S. Open, had that kind of run, play on a Ryder Cup team, he probably takes the money and leaves.
Yeah.
And he didn't. So, and now he's not playing well. Now he's had some injuries, and it's like, it's all timing. But I have no problem. Like, he paid $5 million. I mean, it all goes to charity. I think that's more than generous enough. Like, you can't be like, oh, you got to pay $90 million back. Like, that's not realistic. But making someone pay $5 million, he can't get any of the FedEx bonus money and all that. I think that's more than fair.
Yeah, I'm here to admit this. I've got a Brooks Koepka betting at majors problems.
I do too. Yeah.
So FanDuel is hanging a boost, for the Sony, but you can use them if you're sneaky. You can use them for future major bets. So I use that on Brooks to win the Masters already. I can't quit it.
It's like our Jordan. He is like our other Jordan Spieth. It's like you want to be there for the next one, so you just have to continue to bet him. You know what I mean? Yes. You don't want to miss it's going to be the one time you don't bet them is when they're going to win. And I don't want to be that. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, I just, I'm here for kind of not that it's like storybook, but there's a narrative here, right? And him coming back, I think he's going to be really committed to actually grinding and playing well. And he's got a good track record at Augusta outside of, the time he's injured and stuff. So,
yeah. Yep.
It's 40-1 for him or 45-1 for Spieth. What do you want me to do? I'm going to take the guy that's got 5 of them and the recent ones too. So,
well, I think the best thing for Brooks is him getting back on a schedule of like Liv doesn't play a ton, right? Like It's kind of, what is it, like every other week kind of deal. But, Brooks is going to go through a run here where he's going to play 2-3 weeks in a row and then probably take a break and then play another 2-3 weeks in a row. I think that bodes well for him playing better in the majors this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get to kind of pick and choose his schedule to a degree, right? Compared to Live, at least, where it's like, okay, well, here's our 14 events and you're playing.
You have to play, yeah.
He's like, it doesn't matter if we're in, Singapore the week before the Masters, like, tough break,
Yeah, yep.
So I think that'll be, I'm with you. I think that'll be big. He'll be able to be at his home base and, in Florida. And, I'm just excited. It'll also give some real juice to this, like, I like the California swing a lot, the West Coast swing.
I do too.
But like kicking off a new season and you've got him coming in at Farmers, which had been kind of struggling a little bit.
There was talks of Farmers Insurance like dropping out as the headline sponsor there, like I think 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, quick timeout. Indiana just blocked a punt.
Oh, okay, good. That's good news
for a touchdown.
Oh, hell yeah.
Love that. Love that for my alternate 16.5 spread I took for tonight.
Oh, that's beauty. I just need him to cover. Let's keep this going. Come on.
Yep.
It's going to be sick. We haven't, mentioned this on the show or anything, but us doing this golf trip.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we kind of planned it like between last show and now.
Yeah, kind of. So,
look,
we're doing.
Now, let me rub my own head here for a second, pat my own back.
Sure, do it.
I had this brainchild and was like, I think I sent you guys a text and was like, I've got 2 options for you guys. I'm going to send it over. Like, choose one. And I sent these 2 golf trips over. For the record, would love to take both of these. Like, I think they'd both be a lot of fun. But I think we chose one. But I'll let you kind of go through the rest.
Yeah, no, look, we're in Cincinnati. Obviously, Indiana, very close. That's our neighboring state. So you gave us a couple options. There was sort of like a pseudo Indianapolis West Lafayette combo we were going to do.
Called it the Boilermaker.
Yep, the Boilermaker versus the Hoosier option, which is all in Bloomington and the surrounding area.
Yep.
So I think once we kind of got down to it, like, I'm with you. Both trips would have been awesome. But for some reason, I think we were all kind of drawn back to Bloomington for whatever reason. So we haven't booked anything yet, but we're going to. Yep. I'm hopeful that we'll be visiting a national championship town in about 4 months.
I'll tell you this. Obviously, Indiana's a Big Ten team. I'd have a beer with Kurt Signetti. I think that would be.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be he's kind of like a less weird Mike Leach, where you're like, guy's gonna drop a couple lines on you that are gonna be like, I need to fix myself. You know what I mean? But he famous, like, their last win, he was like, I'm gonna go back and have a couple beers. What beer do you think he drinks before we get into our golf? I think I want to say he's probably a Miller Lite guy, but
that's what I would have guessed off the hop. But I don't know if this is just a joke or not. But like, I read something somewhere online that he was at some brewery or whatever doing some kind of meet and greet type thing or whatever, and he was referring to the beers by their ABV, not their names. Which that really cracked. He could be a craft guy. Is what I'm saying.
That would. I'm not gonna lie. That would surprise me.
Yeah.
Considering it's like, then I think he's the guy that they said he's had the same recliner for like 25 years, and he just moves it everywhere he goes. Like, that would surprise me that he's drinking like a 7.5 IPA, New England IPA in his 30-year-old recliner. But I could be wrong about that.
I mean, what if he just he refers to Miller Lights as like a 4.2 or whatever? Yeah. I don't know.
Oh gosh.
But I'm with you. I think that would be my guess. But yeah, anyway, so back to the trip. Give us the run. What are the courses? You would know better than me.
So we got the on our way out, right? Heading that way, kind of southern. Bloomington's like an hour, I believe, from Indianapolis. Hour and 10 minutes. It's south. So we got to kind of head up 74 a little bit. We're going to get off at Columbus. We're going to go play Otter Creek, newly refurbished Otter Creek. I think it opens this May, I believe, the redo, the Tom Kite redo. So looking forward to that. But we're going to play Otter Creek again, hopefully better weather. I can't imagine we're going to have the same weather we did last time in June. I don't foresee it being 39 and snowing in June this time. So we're going to play Otter Creek. We're going to head off. Actually, I think we got Foul next. So we're going to try to play Foul on Friday. Foul course is Indiana University's home course. I've played it before. It is phenomenal. I'm going to tell you right now, like, there's a stretch of holes in the first 5 that they're going to be, it beats your brains in, like, right out of the gate. Like,
Sick.
Number 2 is like the most manly par 4 I've ever played in my entire life. And I didn't even play it from the back. Like, we played it from like 2 tee boxes up. We kidded about it when I played in that tournament out there. It was like, we would pass like 3 tee boxes. And then you would get up there and you're like, oh, wow, we're playing it way up. And then you like see the GPS is like, fuck, it's still 440 from here. It's like, holy crap. And it's like uphill too. So that course is unbelievable. You guys are like, it's going to beat our brains in, but we're going to enjoy it. Like it really is. It's a public course too. Like it's under $100, which is hard to find in 2025 in golf in America. Under $100 public course that's that good. I'm a big sucker for university courses for what it's worth.
Same.
I've played a lot of them, and every one of them I played has just been so good. And I don't know, there's something like about walking into a clubhouse, and it's like walking into a bookstore kind of, because you like got all the college gear in there and stuff. But so Foul's on Friday. Saturday we're going to take it down to the Donald Ross at French Lick. I've been wanting to play this course for the better part of I can't even remember, forever. I've heard so many good things about it. It's hosted so many different tournaments. I think they had a Symetra Tour event there. I think they still do, actually. Actually, they might play the Pete Dye now, but they used to have it on the Donald Ross. But the Donald Ross at French Lick, that's the most expensive course we're playing, obviously. But still, for a public course you can get on it, I think it's like $130 or something like that, $140. So still not terrible for the quality of course you're getting. And that's on Saturday. But I'm excited for you. I enjoyed my 2 days in Bloomington a couple years ago. I'm excited. I think it's the vibe you guys are going to like. I love the vibe around there, but I think you guys are really going to enjoy the town as well.
Yeah, that's what was going to be my final point here is anybody out there listening that has any insights into Bloomington, please go ahead and send us your recommendations for food, drinks, whatever. I'm like, there's just something about obviously like having a vacation or whatever on the calendar, right? Like having something booked and looking forward to is awesome. When it's also a golf trip, I mean, kind of takes it up a notch in some ways, right? Like, I don't know. We have not done since the last time we played Otter Creek. That was the last time we did a quote unquote golf trip was way back then, 2021, I believe. So yeah, that's nice what kind of got it for me. I'm like, it's been a while. Like, we took that trip, and places were closed. It was like close to COVID. It was like barely a year out from COVID. We're walking in bars needing to wear a mask and stuff. And if we had a blast, don't get me wrong. Like we found our places, but it's like one of those things. It's like, all right, well, now we're like going to get to go and really enjoy, a town. Obviously college isn't going to be in, but there's enough people in Bloomington that it's still going to be fun, right? Like things are still going to be open. Honestly, I was there when college was in. I went out on like a Wednesday night. It was a bit like I stayed until like 11, and like once 11 hit, I was like, all right, I'm like, this scene has erupted into something that I'm just over. Like I'm not that age anymore, So, but no, I'm looking forward to it. I think Bloomington's an underrated town. It really is. I'm excited for you guys to get that and obviously the golf courses, but. Nice. Yeah, so we're excited about that for sure. That block punt just totally up into the agenda there to take us down that conversation, which I'm glad we had. But the last thing I did want to ask, do you think anybody else is actually going to come back before this February 2nd deadline from LIV?
Well,
there's like 3 guys that are actually qualified to come back, but you know what I mean.
yeah, I don't think so. I think here's the thing is like they set this deadline, right? I would find it hard to believe that if Bryson wants to come back 12 months from now, they're going to be like, no, like there's just no way that's going to happen. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to put some urgency behind it. But I think it's more of a suggestion than it is like, and I think it's for certain people, right? Like, your Brysons and, some of these other guys like Rahm, it's more of a suggestion than it is like, here's the hard law. I think some of these guys, it's like, you either take this or you don't. Like, I do believe that. Like some of the lesser names that were on the PGA Tour that went over, I would find it hard to believe that they would get an exemption to this February 2nd date.
Well, unless they change the rules, I think only Rahm, Cam Smith, and Bryson qualify.
Oh, that's right, because they have the major thing in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's literally, they were like, yeah, we want these 3 guys or whatever, and here's your chance. I think you're right.
I don't know. I'd find it hard to believe anybody else comes over before February 2nd.
I think so too. Bryson, I think, seems to be using it more of like negotiation tactics. His live deal is up at the end of this season. But I'm with you. I think they would like take these people back if they wanted to come back past this deadline, but it probably means more severe fines or
like
whatever,
10 million
right?
Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't think they would just be, you get the same thing that Brooks got kind of thing. So, but it was very funny. I caught some of the press conference from Liv, some of the clips after the fact, and like they were all directly asked this question, and Bryson was just like, I'm under contract till the end of this year. That was like all he said, deadpan.
Yeah, they all look pretty miserable for what it's worth.
For sure. And Rahm was like very similar, like, oh, I'm not going anywhere. Like, but just very straightforward, whatever. Cam Smith actually gave like a well-reasoned, like thought out, like, I don't think Cam Smith's coming back. I think he enjoys being able to be in Australia more. He likes his team is all his buddies. Like, I think he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
But I think there's still a world in which those other 2 might. I don't know they'll do it by February 2nd, but I think that they still may come back.
Yeah, I think that Bryson's, there's rumors of wanting like $350 million or something like that.
I saw 500 million too,
or 500, whatever.
Yeah, it
puts him like the second highest paid athlete in the entire world, behind Ronaldo. So there's that. And so I'd find it hard to believe that they're going to pay that, right? And I think it's kind of one of those things like he's throwing out a number, and it's like, look, if you're going to pay this, I'll stay. But if you're not, then I'm gone, kind of thing. But I think it's something that they would probably even negotiate with Bryson of like, hey, we'll let you continue, we'll let you continue to do your thing on YouTube if that's important to you. Because I don't think it's a detriment to the PGA Tour. It just makes him more popular. But
yeah.
But I think he's just throwing out numbers now where it's like, if you're willing to pay me this, I'll play golf here. But if not, then it's probably 12 more months and I'm gone kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. All right. Miami just scored, if you didn't see.
I did see that. Not great.
Not great.
Not great.
All right, a lot of ball left here. Let's see if we can get it done. On to the NFL and the playoffs. Congratulations, our year-long draft thing. You have already wrapped up. I have been eliminated. All 4 of my teams officially out now. You still have the Rams and Broncos left, so congrats on having 2 of the final 4. That's not easy to do.
It's funny is I think when we drafted, I took the Broncos and I was like, I guess I'll take like. I felt like the Chiefs were going to have a down year, like somewhat of a down year. Obviously not like this, but it was kind of more of like, can I pick the right team out of that division that's going to win when the Chiefs don't win? Like, I had a feeling that they wouldn't maybe win the division this year. I thought they might wrap up like a wild card or something, but I was like just trying to find the team that would do it if the Chiefs don't win the division kind of thing. So it turned out to be a really good pick.
I very specifically remember this happening. The Broncos and Chargers were both on the board for me. And you literally, I think, said something to the effect of, like, I think this pick, like, could potentially decide this. And I was like, I guess I'll take the Chargers. And you took the Broncos with the next pick. And here we are.
They both made the playoffs. It just one was the 1 seed and still in. And now they're dead in the water, obviously. But, well, what feels like dead in the water at this point until they kick the ball off on Sunday with no quarterback or a backup quarterback. But yeah, I'm glad that I get a win in one of these competitions because I feel like this might be my first one. I think
you might be right. You might be right. So yeah, congratulations on that. Since we last spoke, your team was eliminated from the playoffs in very, very tough fashion. Unfortunately, I didn't get to get you on the mic the next day. You've had some time to sit and think about it. How are we feeling? Where are we at? I think I just saw your defensive coordinator's gone. Yeah,
Halfley's gone. Kind of assumed at that point that like he was getting so many interviews. It almost felt like the Packers were like, and I want to say, I don't know, one of the players was like, he's going to get something. You know, it's like kind of one of those things like you get enough interviews, someone's going to take him. You know, he's had some success recently. Well, more than recently. Like he had a lot of success at Ohio State as the defensive coordinator, went to Boston College as the head coach, actually didn't do terrible there, and then came to the Packers. And obviously, I think his best coaching job was last year with lesser talent, and he actually had that defense rolling pretty decently. But yeah, that game, at this point, now that the Bears are out, which that's all I really care about anyway. But you know, it's funny. I was having this conversation with a Bears fan I know, and you know, he's like, "Oh, you guys have the longest streak with no, you know, North Division championship." I'm like, "Here's the thing. Have you ever noticed it's X team and the Packers always fighting for the division?" I'm like, they've never been just like in last place, right? I was like, it's always like the Bears or the Lions. I was like, it's one of you three and then us, right? And I was like, it is what it is. Now, however, after that game, I thought for sure Matt LaFleur was getting fired, or at the very least not extended. And they're like, essentially, you're playing for your job next year. They're not going to lose much this year to free agency. A couple guys they'll be able to re-sign. Most of them they weren't going to re-sign anyway. It's not more of a we're going to move on rather than a we can't afford to sign you kind of deal. So he's got pretty much everybody coming back. I thought they were going to be like, look, go play for your paycheck, you know, kind of deal. And they decided to extend them. And this is going to sound very privileged to me as a Packers fan. Because they've made the playoffs and but the fact of the matter is you're either working towards winning Super Bowls or you're okay with just making the playoffs. And I think we have enough of a track record now on LaFleur that it's like, and especially with blown leads, their last 3 playoff losses outside of last year against the Philadelphia Eagles have been 10+ point leads blown. So 3 of the last 4 playoff losses they've been up by 10 points in the fourth quarter, and they lost games. So I don't know. We'll see. My problem is like teams take on the characteristics of their coach. Sure. You know, we kind of saw that with the Lions, like just kind of play tough and you know, gunslinging, like going for it on 4th down kind of deal. I just don't know if Matt LaFleur is that tough. Like maybe he is. I don't know. It just seems like the players don't fear him much, and that's kind of my problem. When you get in a situation where they were like, all right, they were up, and then it's like you kind of started feeling the games swing a little bit. It just didn't feel like you had that stopgap of the coach was like, here's what we're going to do. This is how we're going to get, you know, kind of stable the ship. And it was just never really. I kept texting you guys the whole game. I was like, as soon as they came out, went 3 and out 3 times in a row, I'm like, I'm nervous. And I think the Bears had scored another field goal since then. It was like 21.
Yeah.
It was like 24-6 or something like that. It was like, I'm nervous, and it's like, and then for good reason, obviously. But I don't know. That's kind of my take on it. It would have been a lot spicier if you caught me last week, but just this year, that was like kind of the ending that I was expecting to this year. I didn't think it was going to be into Bears. I thought it'd be in the divisional round. Just a ton of injuries, and I know everybody has injuries, but they lost their top 7 of their top 10 guys to out for the season injuries, and that's hard for any team. And part of making the run in the playoffs is trying to stay healthy. Some years you do, some years you don't, and in the years you don't, this is what happens. So,
yeah, that's a very well reasoned opinion to have at this point for sure. It's so funny because it's like, I think we've had several discussions at this point where they're different, but in a lot of ways, it feels like the Bengals and Packers are starting to mirror one another, and it's becoming more and more frustrating to watch them. I totally did not realize that Matt LaFleur and Zach Taylor were hired in the same class. You could have told me LaFleur had been there for 15 years, I would have believed you.
Yeah.
It just felt like he'd been there for that long.
Yeah, I think with LaFleur, you kind of look at it as 2 different careers, right? He's got the three seasons with Rodgers, and then or 4 seasons with Rodgers, and then the 3 seasons with Love. They're kind of it's kind of hard to distinguish the two. You know what I mean?
That's probably what it is.
They kind of it almost feels like they're separated, very different eras of his coaching career. I guess that's why it feels like it's so long. I think that's probably more what it is.
That, and I think being in the playoffs every year, and they've made a couple decent runs. So you're exposed to them a lot, right? You see them a lot, and they're a national team. So, but yeah, I don't know, that it was so funny to watch that. Not funny, it was sad to watch that game because it was the first half. They couldn't do anything wrong. They were cooking, insanely cooking, and then. You could say, I think I texted at least a couple times. I'm like, dude, he's doing the Zach Taylor right now. Just hyper conservative, just not, doing any of the stuff that was working in the first half, trying long field goal. It was horrible.
Yeah. That brings up a really good point because I think Matt LaFleur, when he is dictating the terms, he is an unbelievably good offensive coach.
Yeah.
I think he's just a good coach in general. When his teams come out and they've got a game plan that they know is going to work, he is unbelievable. It's the moment he gets punched in the face is when that's when it, and I always know these moments. I've watched enough of his games where it's something happens and it doesn't even have to be something big. Like the 2 3 and outs to start the second half. I'm like, all right, they punched us in the face. I know that doesn't even, it wasn't they gave up a score or something.
Sure.
It was just instant panic mode. Got punched in the face. Holy shit! What we were doing in the first half didn't work. It's not working anymore. And then all of a sudden it was a scramble for a quarter and a half, and then they score. They finally score on 5 drives into the second half, which felt like a dagger. It was all right, you're up. You're up 9 with 6 minutes to go. But it's when he gets punched in the face, if he's not dictating the terms, that's when things go off the rails. They dictated everything in the first half. It's we're going to come out. Your defensive backs are not as good as our wide receivers. We're going to throw the ball over the field. And that's what they did. And as soon as the plan had any dent in it, it was it was over, and that's been the problem with him.
Yeah.
I'm just glad Ben Johnson didn't get away with all these stupid decisions. Just truly, he got away with so many bad decisions against the Packers, and then they end up winning. Yeah. But then, yesterday, you look at their game yesterday, if they kicked the 2 field goals when they were down there, they won the game. They'd have been lining up, when they scored that touchdown, they'd have been lining up with a field goal chance from 35 yards with probably little to no time left to win the game.
Yeah, and I saw an interview after the game where, he mentioned, someone asked him about like going for 2 in that scenario, right? To end the game instead of taking it to overtime. And he specifically commented that like their short yardage and goal to go plays had not been going well, and that factored into his decision to kick the extra point and go play overtime, which I found very interesting for like as aggressive as he had coached for the majority of the season,
Well, and I will say this: there's a lot of obviously, he was on Dan Campbell's coaching. He's in Dan Campbell's coaching tree, and he was in Detroit when I will say this: the first couple years of Dan Campbell, it was like didn't matter how the game was going, just go for fourth downs, right?
Yeah.
If you've watched over like the last year and a half, Dan Campbell's he's a little more strategic about. They go for it a lot, they still do, but it's a little more strategic now. Where Ben Johnson's just like, fuck it, we're going. And that's not. I don't think that's a way to handle it. Like, there's being aggressive, and then there's just like against the Packers, he went for like a 4th and 4 from like their own 29-yard line. Like, what do you? That's not being aggressive. That's just being stupid, kind of thing.
Yeah, it was crazy. You're right. I forgot about that aspect of the game too. It was like as good a first half Matt LaFleur had, Ben Johnson had as bad of one, and they just kind of flipped in the 2 halves. It was wild. But I one last comment on the NFL. As a Bengals fan, as a Joe Burrow fan, watching the quarterback play that I watched this weekend just like pained me, made me so mad at this organization all over again for the travesty that they've put out on the field the last 2 years. Oh, it's just Drake May's going to waltz to the Super Bowl.
I'm in the same boat with you. I'm sitting here and like, I think Jordan Love's 100% like a top 8 quarterback in the league. I would argue that point with anybody, but I'm like watching this week. I'm like, fuck, dude, he might be like top 5. He might even be top 3. Like watching some of these quarterbacks that are like a Josh Allen that's supposed to be better than him, right? Like he is. Like everybody, you would ask anybody, they'd be like, Josh Allen's top 3. I'd find it hard to believe that if you watched film, at least of like a handful of games, that you could argue, like, especially the way he played, like throwing an interception downfield. It's just like I don't know. I know Joe Burrow's I think he's the best quarterback in the league. And now I think it's pretty much settled that he's the best quarterback in the league. But you see some of these quarterbacks, and you're like, and maybe it's because our quarterbacks like Jordan Love and Burrow, like for the most part, like Burrow's got some bad luck with tip passes and stuff. They don't really put the ball in like harm's way much. You know what I mean? Like they're not just like willy-nilly throwing shit towards like double covered guys. They don't do that, So when you watch these quarterbacks, they're just like throwing it into double coverage, and then like they're shocked when it gets picked off. Like it just blows my mind at the quarterback play and how bad some of these quarterbacks are.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Williams like had some of the best and some of the worst throws I've ever seen in these playoffs, right? Like his bad is incredibly bad. Like the overthrows, all that stuff, but his good is insanely good. Josh Allen turned it over 4 times. Like CJ Stroud, like I don't know if he can play. Like they should have put Davis Mills in that game, for God's sake.
His was the most shocking.
That was horrendous, man.
I will say this, as an Ohio State fan, I don't think he plays good in bad weather. Like, and I don't think it's a California thing. I just think it's like a mental thing with him. Heck, I think Troy Aikman was talking about it on the broadcast. He was like, "Oh, if it rained, I was done. Like I was done." And like and I think certain quarterbacks have these like certain mental blocks. Like Stafford, I think, didn't really have his best game either. It's like he's always been kind of known of like not playing well in the cold, right? Now they end up winning, but like there's certain like I think Stroud, if it's nasty weather, is just not a good quarterback. Like it shows. Like he had 2 of the best years ever as a Ohio State quarterback, but they play in cold weather twice a year, twice in 2 years, and he loses both of those games. So, yeah, but Stroud's, that was bad. And then, Caleb Williams, I mean, look, we say this all the time, and I think some people kid when they say this, but like stats don't lie. Like stats tell the story, whether you want to believe them or not. And like you see the whole year he's at 50%. Like he's not magically going to throw for more than 50%. Like that's what he's been over 18 games, right? And he's had a decent amount of bad interceptions. It's like that's not going to like. It's kind of I've known this as being a Packers fan with Brett Favre. It's like you just put up with the interceptions. Like you know who he is. Like it's gonna happen, and you just kind of have to find a way around him. And I feel like he's more of that kind of quarterback than like someone that's going to surgically pick apart a defense. It's like that's not what he's going to do. He's going to have a handful of plays where you're like, holy shit, no one else can make that throw. And then he's going to have 4 or 5 plays where you hope they don't lose the game for you, where it's like, where was he throwing the ball? Like, and I think that's kind of where he falls in. But I find it hard to believe that Stafford doesn't win a Super Bowl again this year. It's starting to look, unless the Seahawks stop him. But
dude, the Seahawks are just a fucking wagon is what I'm worried about. That defense,
their defense
man.
is. Yeah, their defense sets up their offense, I feel like.
Yeah. I'm with you. I like the Rams, and I think, maybe like 6 weeks ago I would have thought that. Kind of where we stand now, I'm thinking it's Seahawks Patriots rematch, and I think the Seahawks are just gonna another like Legion of Boom type Super Bowl, right? It's just the defense gonna take them there.
I tell you what, I wouldn't hate either one of those teams winning on the NFC side. I mean, I don't.
No, me either.
I think Matthew Stafford winning another Super Bowl is kind of like it like vindicates like so many guys that have like just gone to Detroit and died and like retired early and stuff like that. Him getting out of there and winning 2 Super Bowls would be a major kick in the teeth for a rival team of mine. But no, I wouldn't have honestly, either of the teams on the AFC side. I know Broncos is going to be really tough, but I don't have a problem with either of those teams either, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I just, the Patriots, it's like this version of the Patriots much more likable, obviously, than the Brady Belichick Patriots. Yeah. But it still feels like a little bit of a, it's not fair. You don't get to just like get rid of Brady and then now you walk right into
like 4 years
MVP
later, 5 years later, all of a sudden you got another good team again.
This is too soon. But also like Jarrett Stidham, Super Bowl Broncos, like that'd be wild. I don't know. To me, it feels like whichever team wins the NFC Championship's gonna win the Super Bowl.
That's what it feels like too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. It is time. We are here. It is Patio Beers time.
Before we get into these questions, Curt Cignetti pulled out his balls, went for it on a 4th and 5 from his own 12-yard line. Mendoza runs it in for a touchdown. We're back up 10 with 9 to go. What a play. I'll be honest with you, they lined up for a 4th and 5. I was a tad nervous. But
I saw the end of the Fernando run. That's pretty epic.
Pretty ballsy.
Heisman winning season and still adding Heisman moments.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. I have no idea who went first last time. Do you want to go? You want me to go?
I did. So you go first.
Okay, mine's golf related. I'm kind of ready to start talking golf here. So I was listening to No Laying Up recently. I don't remember what episode, but I remember DJ talking about it. They just did like some kind of special series on CB McDonald, which I don't know much about him, but I believe he's famous golf course architect. And one of the things that they came across, this guy had some takes apparently, and one of them was that like he was a believer that bunkers should be true hazards, right? Like he was like, go ahead. I think his quote was something to the effect of like, I want to have them like literally walk like mules through the bunkers, like make them like true sand traps, right? So I guess what my question is, or what I was thinking about was just kind of like, if you could change anything about golf, like as it's played today, rules wise, setup wise, whatever, like what would you make that change?
If I could change anything?
Yeah, setup, rule, whatever, like anything that impacts the game that way. Could be equipment, any of that.
I'll tell you, I I would say if you asked me this question 2 years ago, I would probably said something completely different. But I think that one in-course out of bounds should be made illegal across like that. That's the one. If you asked me 2 years ago, that would be the hill I'd die on. I still think it's stupid. I'm like, design a better course, but I understand like we see it a lot in our area. The land constraints for trying to build housing, and
sure,
they're throwing these golf courses in areas that just we need more golf courses, but it's like they're throwing these holes in after the houses are built, right? So, but I still think it's stupid. Like it's you can have a weird shaped hole, but like you can't make the course out of bounds, right? Like,
sure.
I don't know what to tell you. Put a fence up, like so people can't hit it, there. I think that's one of them. I would make that illegal. Period. Like you can have it for open play to keep open play golfers from hitting the golf ball, but like having it in a tournament is lame, like super lame. My other one, I this is going to be so bad, and this is like purists are going to hate this, but I think all heather should be marked hazard. All heather. Like, look, It's still a penalty. Like, you can make a hole tight, it's still going to be a penalty. But the fact that, like, and it looks good. Like, so I want more of it, but the problem is you can't have more of it when it plays as a stroke and distance, right? Like, it just slows up play for tournaments and all that. Yeah. I'm a big fan of heather. I think all of it should be marked at hazard.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, I think lateral hazards, especially for amateur golf, just like, it's such a steep penalty, right? To like have to re-tee it or replay your shot or whatever for a lost ball. Like that's so tough. I brought up our local tournaments, right? Like through the Greater Cincinnati Golf Association. Their big thing last year, and it did get better, was pace of play. Yeah. Right? Like they're like, we're going to be on people. Like, because there were tournaments that people are like, I can't play in this anymore because we just played a 5 hour and 50 minute round. Because you get a lot of people that have jobs, right? Like they're like, all right, I can work the morning, go tee off at 12, but then it's like, you're not even making it home for dinner. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and so I think part of that is making more things a hazard rather than like, oh, you're re-teeing. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people with golf growing that they'll go up and look for it, can't find it, and then go back. Like they have to go back, right? They don't hit a provisional. So I think marking more things hazard, like heather, for instance, even some woods, I think should be marked. It would ultimately help pace of play. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, it's a pace of play thing. Like it, no notes. It's good. Yeah. I like that change.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to that's essentially in course out of bounds, right? Like having a heather area not marked as a hazard is essentially in course out of bounds.
Basically, yeah.
Because some of this heather, like you're not finding your ball in there. You know what I mean? Like unless it's like in the edge, you're not finding it. So you're definitely re-teeing. So I think the two are kind of tied together, honestly.
Yeah, and it would also simplify the rules, right? Like if you just knew that everything was a stroke and distance penalty, like instead you've got people that don't fully know the rule. How many times do you do that in league night where people are asking for rulings on stuff because they don't know?
Like, dude, just go up there and drop it. Like I don't care. Like, is that a hazard over there? It is tonight. Go up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm in favor of that for sure. So mine, I think we have to do one of these two things, and it's like the same, two sides of the same coin. We either need to, you have to be able to remove your ball from a divot if you're in the fairway, right?
That was the low hanging fruit. Obviously, I want that changed. I think that's kind of stupid, but yeah.
Yeah, you either have to be able to do that, or we are playing everything fucking down.
Yep.
Everything. I don't want any relief. The only thing that gets relief maybe is if you're going to cause damage to the course, right? Like if you have an embedded ball, sure. But if you're... Yeah,
you shouldn't get relief from anything.
No. We should just play it, and that's kind of where I was going with the CB McDonald take. I'm like, you know what? Bunkers should be, legitimate hazards. It shouldn't have tour pros aiming for bunkers instead of, the rough is a miss because it's easier to control your ball out of the sand because it's perfect, right? Like I'm a fan of either just like, let's go all natural and we're playing everything down, everything is the way it is, or you can't just have this like, why am I being punished for hitting the fairway because somebody else didn't fix their divot properly? Like, so I think we have to go one direction. We can't be doing this like half in, half out stuff.
Hot take: raking bunkers slows play.
Yeah, fuck it, dude. You get in the bunker. Guess what? Here's your lie.
I mean, I get it. Like from aesthetic standpoint, it might not look the best, right? But I think raking bunkers is, and I do it. And I'm not. This is not my admission that I don't rake bunkers. I do, because it would suck to have somebody behind me get in my footprint when that's not the rules, right? But I think if you're like, look, there's no raking bunkers, like pace of play would pick up immediately. Like it would save so much more time than I think people realize.
Yeah, and if it was just the expectation, like, hey, we're not raking bunkers, then you don't spend time getting mad about it. Like you hit in the bunker, then you realize, this is on me.
I'm in the footprint. Like I shouldn't have hit it here, right? Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I that's a good one. I mean, and again, it makes it a real hazard, right? Like, if you're like hit it in there, you're like, fuck, I'm in the afternoon rounds, and I'm in a footprint. Like, it is what it is. I shouldn't have hit my shot here.
Also, selfishly, I play with good players like yourself, right? Like, you guys are pretty good from the bunker. Us mid handicappers, it's hit or miss. We might be hitting it 30 yards in the woods, or we might hit a good one. So let's level the playing field a little bit here. That's my take. It shouldn't be easier for you to hit out of the bunker than me.
Well, and I will say this: with our course, some of the bunkers aren't great. I started to kind of take this stance at the end of last year, in the fact that it's like, I get in and like get mad when there's like not a lot of sand, or there's a lot of sand. It's like, should these be even consistent? Because it's a hazard, right? If you want something consistent, you need to hit it in the fairway. Like,
there you go.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I started to not get mad about the inconsistencies of our bunkers, because I'm like, it shouldn't be like, there should be some trivial, like, difficult to hit out of it, right? Like, not knowing how much sand's in it, because it's a hazard. There's a reason you can't ground, like, you just like can't remove, like, it's a hazard. It should be played that way. Like, if you hit it in the creek, you wouldn't complain about having a bad lie in the creek. You're in a creek, right? Like, you know what I mean? So that's where 100%. It's like, it shouldn't be any different.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I like that. That was a good question.
Thank you.
I mean, the divot was like the lowest hanging fruit, but I understand where you're kind of going with it. Like, you either get relief from divots, or we play everything. Like, you're on a cart path. It is what it is. You hit the ball.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, why does it make it any different is the real question.
Right. And I think there's a spirit of the game element of that too, right? Yep. Like the guys in the, the sheep farms back in the whatever 1600s, that's what they were doing.
Yep. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think lift, clean, and place should be done with as well, specifically in tournaments. Like, I'm talking like amateur tournaments, any tournaments you play in, club tournaments. Lift, clean, and place is a avenue for someone to cheat. Like, that's how I've always seen it. I hate it. We do it in our tournament only because it's November. Grass isn't that great. It's for fun for the most part anyway. But I hate lift, clean, and place. Hate it.
Yeah, I especially hated it on the pros.
And most people don't know that lift, clean, and place is literally lift, clean it. Once you put that ball on the ground, there's no like, oh, I didn't put it in a good line, pick it back up. Once that ball hits the ground, it is in play. You've got to pick your tee up. You can't like keep picking it up and like building a lie. It's down, pick the tee up. People don't know that. So if you ever do lift, clean, and place and you're in a tournament and a dude's just like putting it down, like, oh no, I don't like it there, and moving it, that's actually a penalty. Yeah. If you didn't know that.
The more you know.
So all right. So my question, sending you guys some pictures this weekend. My parents are teetering with the idea of moving, but just more so like, hey, you guys are in your 30s, you still have crap here. Take it with you, do whatever you want with it. It just can't be here, kind of thing. I was going through. I had some trophies and stuff, and kind of going through it. And I want your take on what's an elite trophy to win for a golf tournament? Like what would your ideal trophy be if you won a golf tournament? Like what would it look like?
I mean, I personally think that the Claret Jug is the perfect trophy. So like something like that, like a silver,
almost
silver jug, cup, whatever kind of thing. I think is a pretty elite thing. I think anything crystal is usually pretty sick, right? Like the BCS used to have the fucking crystal.
That was the best trophy. Yeah.
That's pretty sick. But yeah, I also like non-trophy trophies, right? Like, the Masters actually gives a trophy, but most people know about the green jacket, right? Like, I think those kinds of things are always really cool. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a combo of things there, I think. But if I had to pick one, I think I lean more like the traditional trophy route, like more like the Claret Jug kind of thing.
Yeah. I think post 21 years old, you want to have something that has something you can drink out of. But you can't disagree with that. I think that's like a given. You win something, you want to crush a beer in your trophy. Like, I will say this. I was kind of going through my trophies. I kind of on the route that you're kind of talking about. Like, I found this trophy. I forgot I had it. I'll be honest with you. Like, I was 11 years old, when I won this thing. I have a sterling silver platter. I think I sent a picture of it to you guys.
You did, yeah.
I had to look up how to clean sterling silver. I had no idea that it involved like baking soda, boiling water, like aluminum foil, and you like put it in. Like the chemical reaction actually removes like some of that like buildup on it. But like that sterling silver platter, it's like it's a trophy, but it's not a trophy. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think those are like really, really cool. I'm a big fan of like a frame flag being a trophy. I think that's, but I think like if I could bring it back, like I think the sterling silver, like big cup with like a very small base, kind of like what the FedEx Cup is, not with the handles though, but like that, like bowl, like that simple bowl.
Yeah.
With some kind of base on it. Like our Cincinnati Met is like that, right? It's like that sterling silver, bigger bowl shape, very simple, but like there's like a elegance to it, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like I think Wimbledon might do plates.
They do, yeah. They like it's a circle plate, yeah,
silver, like yeah. I mean, you sent that picture. I was like, that is pretty. I mean, if getting that as like an 11-year-old's way sick.
Well, it's like you're walking out of there. My parents were like, "Oh man, that's a really nice sterling silver plate." I'm walking around like banging it on stuff, probably not even really caring about anything. Eating my hot dog on the way out of the clubhouse, But yeah, I was like, I saw that. I'm like, I don't remember getting this. Shout out to Sean, who's our pro at the course we play at. I won that tournament when he was the head pro at this golf course that I used to play at, and that's a sweet trophy. Like he's a good trophy guy though. I feel like he gets the trophy angle.
Yeah, the one that I know you guys have a similar one for the Stampede. It's like the clay with like the clay jug with the actual like removable top. Yours is like navy, I think, and ours wound up being white with some blue accents. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then he also gets us the embroidered golf bag as kind of a memento from that too. That's really neat.
That's a cool trophy, non-trophy thing. Yep.
Yeah, like I'm with you. Sean does do a good job of like getting you something valuable.
He does mix in some crystal in there.
Yeah,
I've got a couple crystal ones from our club. So yeah, I crystals. I do like crystal. It's honestly the reason I like crystal now as an adult. You could have that thing sitting on a shelf and like no one would even know it's a golf trophy. Like, oh, it's you know what I mean? Like, I think I used one of mine for flowers one time around Valentine's Day a couple years ago. I'm like, pretty fucking sick vase if I had to say so myself. And I get a little reminder about the tournament I won every time I walk by it. So,
yeah, it's man. Great question.
Yeah, but the non-trophy trophies, like when I was in college, we used to do, like on our spring break, we would do a tournament, like an inter-team tournament, and every year was a different jacket. Like our coach would go to like Goodwill and get a jacket, and like everybody's is different. It's like I have one that's like plaid. When I won it, there was another one that was like yellow. Like there's all kinds of crazy stuff, but it was like I still have mine. Like I still have my jacket from when I won. Like because I feel like you keep that stuff more than like we're going through all these trophies, and half of them I threw out. I'm like, this is like just throw it away, right? Like, so I'm like that stuff gets thrown away, but like that jacket's still hanging in my closet. So,
right, yeah, we bring this full circle. When we went on our last golf trip was to the Louisville area, and I had that little mini slugger made
sick trophy,
yeah, which you got to take home, unfortunately, for a week-long competition there. So yeah, we'll have to.
I think we need a non-trophy trophy again. Like,
we might need something for Bloomington. Try to do something representative of the area. So
a double wide is going to be real hard to give out as a trophy. That's my only Indiana joke. I know enough Indiana people. I had to make that joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm going to get us out of here. There's 2 minutes to go here. Looks like we're probably not hitting these bets, but Indiana can close this out here. So we'll watch that finish up. But thank you all for listening. As always, please subscribe, rate, and review the show. Follow us on social media at Back96Pack. And yeah, I guess until next time, cheers.
See ya. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Back 9 Six-Pack. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Back 9 Six-Pack for all your content needs. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.